This is a redux of our Color Harmony video.
Many people have told us that this video has helped them a lot, so if you feel the same way, please share this video.
People made comment about our audio quality. In addition, there were also some things that we left out that we thought were vitally important, so we added them to this version.
This version is a minute shorter with additional information, so we have kept our promise to
Never waste your time. Today's topic is
understanding color harmonies.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to WAYPN. I'm Cal.
And I'm Sunny.
So, color schemes are color harmonies?
Not exactly. Color harmonies are the rules and principles that you use to select your colors. The color scheme is how you would put those selected colors together in a pleasing way.
So I just grab red and green and I'm good to go?
Not exactly.
Alright then, let's go over some basics. Hue is?
The color of the color.
Saturation is?
The vibrancy of the color.
And values are?
How light or dark the color is by adding black or white.
So most people think of this when they look at a color wheel.
That's just hue. They need saturation too.
This?
And values.
Wait, shouldn't it look like this? That seems to cause some confusion.
Yup. So the thing with color harmonies is that people don't consider that natural colors can fit within a color scheme. So I'm talking about animal paintings, colorful fishes, and also another thing to consider is the difference between split complementary and triadic harmonies.
Alright, shall we get into it?
Yep.
Monochromatic. Most people think of this when it comes to monochromatic.
But it can also look like this.
Taking a look at that, I don't even see its color on the color wheel.
Well, first, we need to take a look at what monochrome even means. It means one color. The coconut tyranids use different types of browns, but it's all still one color, brown.
And what is brown?
Brown is a compound or composite color, which is why it's hard to track it on the color wheel. Brown is made by mixing different amounts of the primary colors, or by mixing a primary color with its complementary opposite, a secondary color.
So green with red?
Yeah, or blue with orange.
Oh, okay. Alright, why does this color scheme work?
It's a color scheme that comes from nature, which is why it works. The biggest thing that people don't consider is the order of colors. It's just as important as the choice of colors. Notice how the colors on this tyrannid crab actually follows from dark to light, saturated to least saturated, starting from dark brown, medium red brown, and then light yellow brown. Also notice that it follows the order of colors in the color wheel, moving from red to yellow. Order of colors are just as important.
Armies like the Blood Angels, Imperial Fists, and Salamanders would fit under monochromatic?
Yes, because they're at least 90% or more of that one color.
On to the next topic. What's the difference?
What's the difference between triadic and split complementary themes?
Triadic means related to a triad or a group of three, which doesn't actually help in this case. The difference between a triadic and a split complementary is one thing, the type of triangle. One is an equilateral triangle and the other is an isosceles triangle. But this is very important.
With an equilateral triangle, all the colors that you choose on the wheel will be equidistant from each other.
So if you choose a primary color,
all of them will be primary.
If you choose a secondary,
all will be secondary.
And if you choose a tertiary,
all your colors will be tertiary. But with a split complementary, you have a greater variety of colors.
But they roughly follow the same rules, right?
Yes, and they also follow the composition of majority, minority, and accent colors, also known as the 60-30-10 rule.
Let's go over Games Workshop's favorite poster boys, the Ultramarines. Okay, so I can see that it's majority blue, but then I'm like, where's the yellow?
The yellow would actually be the gold. You want to read the color without the metallic sheen added to it.
Okay, well, what about the steels like on the bolter? Would I read that as a blue then?
Well, it depends. If you see a blue tinge to the color, you read them as blue. If you see them as a neutral gray with no other colors added to it, you read them as gray. You have to read the colors as they are presented. In this scheme, they use navy blue, pale yellow, and a bright red.
Okay, so 60, 30, 10.
Some of you might take a look at this marine and go, well, Sunny, I think that red is more of a 2% than a 10%. The thing that you want to consider the most, it's about the majority, minority, and accent. The percentages can have wiggle room between each other. You just want to keep that in mind.
So models with different color harmonies will still keep that majority, minority, accent color theme going?
Yes, the percentages and colors can mix around a bit, but it roughly follows the 60-30-10 rule.
So the Stormcast Eternals and the Ultramarines...
Yep, that's right. They use the same color harmony and the same colors, but they use the 60-30-10 rule in different majority, minority, and accent ranges.
Oh, okay, I think I'm starting to get it. But I'm a little confused about one thing. That guy, the Ultramarine, he's got the Bolter and there's a lot of black and grey there.
I can understand that. But black, grey, and white are not considered colors. They're known as shades. But for convenience sake, we'll call them colors. And for this, you want to use blacks, white, and greys as visual breakers to bring about contrast. They're not really part of the color harmony.
They're not colours, they're shades. Okay, I think I'm ready to move on to... Complementary. Complementary color harmonies break that 60-30-10 rule because there's only two colors.
That's right. Would that mean they become 50-50 then?
Not at all. Usually they're 70-30 or 60-40.
So they still follow a bit of that majority, minority, and accent color concept. But in this case, there is no accent color.
Actually, there is one case where they do follow that same color harmony rule. It's for color schemes, not color harmonies. It's when you're using a shade as the third color.
Ah, that makes more sense now. So if you did consider the shade, it would still follow 60-30-10 rule.
That's right.
Now let's
split complementary.
Unlike the triadic, the split complementary will have more variances in its value and saturation.
Saturation is how vibrant it is, and value is how light or dark it is?
That's right.
Can you explain that?
With split complementary, the colors are a lot closer together, so your accent color would be the most vibrant.
That's the most saturated.
That's right, and your majority and minority colors would be more desaturated.
And they're going to be either darker or lighter, and it doesn't matter if they're darker or lighter?
Yep, that doesn't matter at all. And you can also switch around these compositions in terms of the percentages as well, as long as one of them is the more vibrant one.
Moving on to tetradic. Tetradic color harmonies are known by another name, aren't they?
Yes, double split complementary color harmonies.
Tetradic just means rectangle, and how it works is essentially there's two split complementary color harmonies working in concert. Is that right?
That's right.
I think I need an example to help me visualize things.
Let's take a look at the Tree Lord Ancient. He's composed of two complementary colors, red and green and blue and orange. The way this color harmony is used is that you would split the complementary colors. Pick one pair. One of the colors will be an accent and the other will be a minority.
Okay, I'm getting a little lost here. Do you think you could break it down for me?
So the orange would be the majority color, the green would be the minority color, and the accent colors are split between red and blue.
Oh, I get it. I'm looking at it wrong. It's not a rectangle, it's two triangles.
That's right. One of these triangles act as the dominant set, and the minority color in the dominant set will act as the majority color in the secondary triangle set.
That's why it has two accent colors with a smaller percentage.
Exactly, you're getting it.
Alright, I'm starting to get it. I think I know how it works. Let's do one more and I'll see if I can get it.
Let's take a look at the Exalted Flamer of Tzeentch.
He's got yellow and purple and orange and blue.
That's right.
So the orange and blue set with the accent of purple is the dominant set.
That's right.
Blue is majority, orange is minority.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, so if those two are the majority and minority, that means that the yellow and the purple are the accents and we split it there. Is that right?
Yes, you got it.
Okay, all right. I think I get it. Let's move on to square. Sunny, squares use 4 colors. So how does the majority minority accent rule work with them?
With this one, it's a bit different. You have 1 majority color and 3 accents. So percentage-wise, it would look something like this: 70, 10, 10, 10.
But those percentages could vary.
Yes, they can.
And when would you want to use a square color harmony?
It's good for when you want to have more than a few colors pop on your model.
Let's move on to some more simple color harmonies. Analogous. Analogous is where you choose a single color and the two colors adjacent to it. Those two colors become your highlight and your shadow, respectively.
For example, if we were to choose purple, purplish red, and red, purple would be the obvious shadow, purplish red the midtone, and red the highlight. You can use values to increase the contrast between each of these colors, but that's exactly why using the analogous palette is really good.
As a general rule, you want to use the cooler color temperature as your shadow. Is that correct?
Yes, you should use the cooler color as your shadow.
Let's do a quick crash course on color temperature.
On the color wheel, everything from red to yellow are considered warm colors, and everything from green to purple is considered cool colors.
With that crash course done, let's move on to
Extended Analogous.
With Extended Analogous, you have 5 colors instead of the usual 3. The reason why this is important is because of temperature. You can cross from warm to cold or from cold to warm.
For example, let's select the color yellow. With an analogous color scheme, you would select amber and chartreuse, connecting them together to make them a regular analogous scheme. But with Extended Analogous, you would also include yellow-orange and green. This starts to show how we are crossing between the temperatures of the colors, and this creates a more dynamic look and feel of your model.
If you want an example of this in action, take a look at the classic Gene Stealer. Using the color scheme like this, the cool colors can represent the coldness, the cunningness, and the calculated side of the Gene Stealers, whereas the red side shows it to be a much more ferocious, a much more active creature.
Let's move on to
Adjacent complementary is just like complementary color harmonies, except sangit.
Sangit is a Malay word that means slanted.
So instead of the classic orange and teal,
It would become violet and amber.
but there's something that you have to remember about complementary and adjacent complementary color harmonies. Unlike color harmonies like the triadic color harmony, there can be a lot of difference between values and saturation.
For example, pairing burgundy and Shales green, they might not directly be red and green, but they still fit the complementary color scheme.
This is also true for adjacent complementary colors. Our final note on shades. Blacks, whites, and greys are considered shades, not colors, because colors are associated with a wavelength of light.
Black absorbs all wavelengths of light, and white reflects all wavelengths of light.
So they have no color associated with them.
And that's why they don't have any effect on a color harmony.
That doesn't mean that they won't have an effect on your color scheme.
They can be used as visual breakers or to create more contrast with the piece.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you on the next one. And don't forget to keep those brushes wet. Bye-bye. It sang it.
Hey, I was supposed to say sang it.
No, me. I say, it sang it.
But nobody knows what it means.
They know what it means.
It sang it.
It sang it.
Sang it.